Hi everybody, welcome back. Good to be with you once again. Today, like I said before, I wanted to go over the Q stuff that I've been hearing about recently. But before I do, I just wanted to show that in the NASA videos I've done, there's more than one instance, and there's a better instance somewhere else that I just can't find right now. I haven't really done much research for this video, not this morning anyway. But basically explains where CONUS is. As you can see, CONUS is basically people that are infected with bioweapons and sent around. And you can see that this document that NASA made about 2045, showing the CNN syndrome, basically hyphenated terror attacks within CONUS binary biocritical infrastructure, and take down IOIW, EMP, RF against brain. Excuse me. So this one page in itself, although it's not the first one that explains what CONUS is a bit better, I just couldn't bother to find it. This one's perfect for explaining what's going on at the moment, really. So I actually started a new job a couple of days ago, and I'm a delivery guy now. And what I'm finding is everyone strongly believes what they're hearing on the news. I even had one, all the people are quite different when I'm delivering, but some people won't open their doors. They'll talk to you from their upstairs window and ask you to leave stuff in sanitized containers, and then they'll come and sanitize their package before they open it. Others are happy to talk to you, but just ask to stay 2 meters away, like you're supposed to do over here. And then there's very few that don't really pay much attention to it, but you can tell that everybody watches the news. Everyone believes what they hear on the TV. But nonetheless, it's also quite different to how things used to be, because being a delivery person, you get in quite a lot of appreciation now, because people, also are told on the news that frontline workers are special at the moment, doing a really good job. Like Trump says, really good job. But it just seems a bit full on, really. Because, for example, the other night I was driving through a little village, lost on one of my first days, and they done the 8 p.m. Clap and cheering for frontline workers, key workers, which is like nurses, delivery guys, etc. And I was driving through this village, and all the people that were doing it were like, that knew I was there because they saw me lost all day trying to deliver stuff, were looking at me like I was a piece of excrement while I was lost driving around, whilst they were cheering, and they're supposed to be, in a way, cheering, not for me personally, but for people that do what I'm doing at the moment. And, they weren't cheering for me, they were just doing what the news told them to do, not for the fact that they're doing it, but because they were told to do it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So what I can tell on the news at the moment as well is this social distancing is practice from now on, and it's not going to stop. Even when they say that the COVID's gone, this social distancing is going to go on. And I don't know how no one else has seen it yet, but this is a population reduction, more so than any of the tactics of the old Dark World Order. Because holding people away from each other, it's just going to be a lot less babies born. And if you can get people to do it as a new way of being sociable, well then, you've already got your family set up, and the only people that are likely to have children from here on out are people that are already in the same household as the person they're going to have children with. So it just seems like there's a lot more going on than what people see, and I've put my job at risk by trying to explain things to some of the people. Being a truther in that, I can't help it. But I can see that people don't want to know. People are happy to believe what they hear on the TV and what they're told by the governments. And, being a believer in Yeshua. People love their bondage, you know, that's just the way it is, and you can't take people out of it unless they want to come out of it. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't stop trying. So still trying. So yes, so today what I wanted to say is, yeah, this CONUS, which was written in 2001 by NASA on this document, I've got a 3-part video that explains all the weapons and stuff that they had in existence then, you know, 20 years ago, that they're going to use for the year by the year 2045 to have us in the New World Order. Now, there are a few channels out there explaining what's going on at the moment, and it's a lot of really good information, but I think some of the channels are getting a lot of criticism from people because they're getting shared out to some, I don't know, other people. So I don't really want to keep sharing names at the moment, because if in these times, if people are going to get persecuted, I don't want to be responsible for other people getting persecuted, you know. So I'll just try and share information best I can. So there's the light world order and the dark world order. The dark world order is the world order that's running the world at the moment, and excuse me, and the light world order is what's coming into be now, with Q and Trump starting it. And what's basically happening at the moment is they're possibly rounding up the old dark world order. So all those that you would see doing satanic symbols and stuff, all the celebrities on their music videos, on their movies, all these people that were powerful and wealthy up until, you know, this year, they're basically mostly of the dark world order, and they're being stopped in their tracks. And the only way to do this without them using their old tactics, such as you know, terrorist attacks and stuff like that, the only way to stop that happening is to have everybody at home. So sorry, excuse me, smoker's cough, nothing else. So what we're going through at the moment, although people are believing in a deception, there's a takedown behind the scenes, and this is all about the New World Order, but not the New World Order that we've been learning to come into existence. So, for example, there's a dark and a light. So NASA would be the dark space system. Therefore, what's his name? I always forget his name. He's such a douche. Geezer that runs Tesla Motors. He is the light side, and he's going to be the one in the, not the New World Order, which is what all the dark world were trying to bring in, but the golden age, which the light world are going to bring in, which are the New Ages. You know, the people that are like light workers and talk a lot of false spirituality, I suppose. So yeah, so what's happening, is apparently is a lot of the old being taken out, whether it's through death or having their positions removed from them. This new system's going to roll in, and that's why the whole world has stopped. So there's no immigrations of these peoples whilst they're removed, so the new group can take on a new rule. But what you've got to remember is they're two sides of the same coin. So although one appears bad and one appears good, they're all working for the same point, the same principle. And the whole point on all of this, through the whole time of this age, is to get as many people as they can on their side to believe in their ways, which is against God's ways. And as you can see, the whole world today is totally the opposite to the Bible. You try to talk about God, Jesus, the Bible to anyone around you, you know, if they believe in Jesus, they generally go to church, and, you know, on a Sunday, and they're nice to their neighbours, distance themselves from bad people. You know, that is generally what you can see as a good person nowadays. But if you look towards Yeshua, you know, you got to love your enemies. You know, you got to help everyone you can. You've got to do what you can for everybody. And that's not to say put yourself in the way of danger and persecution, but if it comes to, see if you can take it, especially for the name of God. But what's going to happen is the New World Order, the Golden Age, is going to cause a reset soon, a global reset. So the world religions, the world governments, and the world money system will all be wiped out. That means everyone will become debt-free that signs up to this new thing. Everyone will become very rich that sign up to it. But it is the new beast system. So the old beast system is the Dark World Order, with what started with gold as the main currency, then gold backing, then we have paper money, and we're now going into a phase of digital money. And the digital money, the cryptocurrency, which has been around for about 10 years now, has basically, it is AI. And I mentioned in an old video, I got robbed over over 100 grand of bitcoins by a company that was basically, it robbed people all over the world, but it was claiming to use trade bots that look around the whole world and buy low and sell high in a matter of seconds, which turned out to be profitable for about a week, and then all of a sudden lost everything and the company disappeared. And there was billions that got robbed throughout the world, and people reported it to FBI, Internet Complaints Commission, MI5, all these different people across the world, and not a single person's been investigated, not a single person's been arrested for it. And as I've said in an old video, I believe that it's quite possible that it was actually AI that did it. And since it's been in existence, it's been monitoring how we work, say with our money transactions through the blockchain, and it's been learning how to take from us, and it's built its own wealth, and it's been allowed to do these massive robbings of the people without being punished, because it is for the new agenda. So when this new money gets rolled out and gets offered to people that are willing to sign over for this new system, which will appear to be fantastic, it will appear to be the perfect thing for everyone. But unless you have the kind of vision and sight that we all do, you won't see how that is just not going to save the world. It's going to make it worse. If everyone's rich in a world that's being destroyed, how does it get any better? You're just going to have more destruction, more people not doing anything to help, tilling the soil and sweating to eat bread. These are things that are a part of life, just like we have bodies, we have to maintain them. We've got to take care of the world as well. We can't just not, because it won't work. So yeah, today I wanted to look at a couple of things. So this is a Q clock, and like I say, I don't promote Q. This is a part of the agenda, and I also think this is either high military or AI once again, but probably people. But this particular clock, I haven't learnt how to use it. I wanted to share it to see if anyone else could, to see if they can pick up on anything. But basically what you do is you find a date. So you say you got, let's use the ones they've used. So you choose a date, 0907. It's difficult to see. And you run a ruler from it, a line, with the ruler through it, through the centre, and then straight through the other side. And you can, as days go by, they get coloured in like that, and you can get to the next one. And what you'll find is, once you get to that date, you go and find the Q posts from that day, and there'll be a clue in the Q post as to what happened on that day there, if that makes sense. However, this being a part of the agenda, you can see that it's a very complicated agenda. It's not a pyramid structure anymore. The new world ain't going to be the pyramid structure. Well, it will, but it won't appear like that in our new societal way of thinking and being. We're just going to be distanced. We're going to be very positive to everyone around us, but we're going to snitch on anyone that doesn't follow what they're told according to the news and stuff like that. And everyone that takes on the new beast system, Mark of the Beast or whatever, they're going to love it, and they're not going to understand why there's going to be people that reject it, and they're going to hate the people that reject it, because they're going to think that they don't want anything good in their life, when in fact it's really quite the opposite. So if anyone wants to look at this clock, do. It's quite easy to find on Google. However, I don't want anyone to spend too much time on it, because it seems like it's just a big spider's web to waste people's time. Excuse me for a second. So yeah, there's the clock, easy to find. We've got this other thing as well, which is the Great Awakening. There's so much information on here, but I thought I'd try and get into it today. So obviously this is also of Q and the New World, the Light Order. So don't take everything on this sheet as being truth. In fact, take everything on this sheet as having some sort of deception in it. But I'll go through stuff anyway. So you've got things like escaping the matrix, fake news media, false flags, 9/11, Federal Reserve, big banks, big pharma, vaccines, GMOs, fluoride, chemtrails, Gwen Towers, FEMA, Fukushima, Hollywood occult, education indoctrination, taxis, globalism, new Nazi world order. But see, you know, the New World's even still promoting globalism, as they will, by sending people to so-called Mars. So, you know, all this is just all the dark and light mixed together to try and show a plan of what is about to come about for the good of the people, apparently. Smart meters, which are already nearly everywhere, RFID, 5G, oil, you know, the current thing about oil being at a third of its value or something. You know, I got some fuel the other day and it's no cheaper than before, so someone's profiting in these times, as they always do. The war on drugs, which is just beginning. If you heard the latest talks about the American military going around in America, and it'll be the same in every other country. There are already other countries, like I think it's Thailand or one of the countries over there, that they're on lockdown through military force at the moment as well. Excuse me. And it's probably a lot more countries as well. It's just you don't really hear much from them, so you can't get it. But here you can see optimal timeline, reality, full disclosure. So this is the kind of disclosure that they're going to give. I don't mean this particular one sheet and that's all you're going to get, but this is ultimately the plan. So when you go into stuff, there's so much stuff. You know, people are asleep, the sheep are asleep. Weaponized food, CIA drug and weapons trafficking. So all this government money and religion is all going to get taken down by this. So although at the moment the militaries are rolling out across the world, we're not being told this is what it's for the not just weapons trafficking, but for even children trafficking and stuff like that, and drugs, and it's to get all this done. Apparently these empty hospitals quite possibly are actually for saving children and stuff, which I hadn't actually considered until I heard it yesterday. And although that would actually be a really good thing, it's still part of the agenda. So then people that are saving them now allowed them to go through that before, when they could have saved them before. So I hope that makes sense. I don't want to sound like I'm being a really bad or evil person. I'm not. But yeah, you've got all this stuff here, adrenochrome, which is like, you know, baby's blood. RH, talking about special blood types. Epstein Island, where things were going on with children. Dark web, Pizzagate. It's got all this nasty stuff. You know, you've got sealed indictments. So Save the Children, the world gold heist. They're going to claim that all this world came from someone, actually a so-called ascended master. But in reality, as I mentioned before, it's come from robbing people out of their cryptocurrency over the past 10 years. And trust me, there's enough in whoever's been robbed in the past 10 years to cover everything, at least enough to cover the creation of the new world. By rolling out a newer, you gain the wealth in say Bitcoin, and then you use it to destroy the world around you, but simultaneously bringing out, say, new Bitcoin or something else similar. So then you've wiped out everything from the old, you've not rolled it over. But then in reality, what's happening is you're just using the same principles of the old in the new, just in a different way. So here, they're even saying like the solar system warming instead of global warming. They're saying that the whole universe is heating up, not just the Earth itself, all planets. But as a flat earther, we know that means the containment within the firmament is all heating up. So it's not out in the endless nothing. It's within a certain tangible, measurable amount of distance. So everything you've learned in school is wrong. So also what you find is, that's on the other one. So when we go through the Q stuff, you got the storm, which you hear quite a lot, and QAnon. However, QAnon, when he first appeared, a friend of mine was talking about him on Twitter, and I kind of said, no, it's probably something that works for the military. And about 2 weeks later, someone got caught. It was the hacker. Was it Q? Yeah, I think it was called Q. And then he kind of disappeared, and then from then on, QAnon's carried on. Even though the person that was doing it before has disappeared. But it's also now like a massive thing, like you saw the map a minute ago. So the kind of things that are going to be used here is Trump and Q, anonymous meme wars, like using Twitter. And when you look at that clock and you research things on that date that Q's released, this is basically referring to that. Geotus, Here All Seal, that is basically the PRISM system, the computer system that was revealed to us when Obama was the president. Draining the swamp, that is what I was mentioning about, getting rid of the old world order and bringing in the new world order. Pleiadian guidance, so back in the day, I've mentioned before, back in the day I used to look into like conspiracy theories, and then I kind of went off that a bit, and conspiracy theory doesn't mean it's bullshit made up by crazy people. It means truth that's been hidden by people and given a name to point craziness at the people that are called it. Sorry, I'm really bad at defining things. So, but anyway, lost my point there. So they're going to end the Fed, where in reality what's going to happen is Trump's going to be the new chairman of the Fed, of the crypto Fed. Peace with North Korea, CIA ousted, Space Force, and there's going to be tribunals for those that have been running the world, not for the sake of good, but for the sake of destroying the old and bringing in the new. Remember that they're still a part of the same, and we're to trust the plan. And this is the one that's been getting me from videos that I watched over the past day or two, is I've been going around saying, these hospitals are empty from what I can see on videos and stuff. And if they are going to be used for helping children that have been imprisoned and abused and everything from throughout their childhoods, even to today and stuff like that, then it is actually a really good thing we got them beds and them hospitals there so they can get saved. However, they could have done all this before, and it's the same principle with this social distancing and shutting down the world. They never did this level of anything for any of the other problems in the world, not for people dying of drugs, criminals, like activities or group warfares, other illnesses with other diseases and endemics that have come about It's never happened before, and this isn't exactly a major one like you hear from people saying. You don't see flesh-eating bacteria chewing off people's body parts and arms and stuff like that. What it is it's an idea attached to an existing common thing that people can consider tangible to believe in. So you've got the new Anons and Patriots kind of stuff. They're going to arrest paedophiles. They're going to release free energy, which, if you do your research, there is free energy about already. The reason it's been kept behind through the dark people is so the light order can be the givers of that, so they can be considered, special, or they're going to place themselves above God, I suppose. So exopolitics, ET books with trip codes or something, end human trafficking. So it's possible that these, because apparently cruise ships are often used a lot for human trafficking, so that's why you keep hearing about a lot of cruise ships at the moment, although we're hearing about them for people with coronavirus. It's possible that they're stopping them and taking off these kids and taking them to hospitals, but then obviously using the corona as a excuse to hold people to it. So you've got CERN is the occult sacrifice ritual. How is that a sacrifice though? Don't understand. A missile hit the Pentagon, so it wasn't a plane, or there's a missile yet to come. World Trade Center, yeah, so it was then. World Trade Center 7 controlled demolition, which you can see by footage is totally true. Flat Earth PSYOP, so this is where they're going to start, trying to turn people away from the flat Earth. Well, not now, but they've got it in there. At some point, we're all going to get chased for it. (1984), George Orwell. Red pill the masses to escape the Matrix. However, the red pill isn't actually escaping the Matrix, it's taking you in deeper because you're still believing in the globe. So as you can see, I've just literally briefly spoke about the things I've seen, and all we've looked at so far is that section there. So you can see there's a lot of stuff on here that's a very, very complex agenda. So you've got the clowns in America, and you've got things that kind of are used to control people and to monitor them. They're going to have a jump gate to Mars. Crazy. How are they going to do that? How's that even going to work? Are people going to come back from Mars, or are they just going to walk into basically an oven, cook to ashes, and then get told, yeah, they're in Mars now? Excuse me. So funny. Janet Airlines, Las Vegas. I don't even know what that is. Underground high-speed tramples. This will be for the people when they run underground, I suppose. Sandia and Dolce. I've never heard of that one before, actually. Deep underground human ET hybrid cloning, New Mexico, apparently. Stasis giants, yeah, the red-haired ones. I've seen footage of one before on YouTube, and this giant that looks like it's about, 10, 11 feet tall, and it's asleep. It looks dead, but it could be asleep because its body hasn't deteriorated. It still looks like it's got flesh and a human. Human man with red hair, red beard. Don't know if anyone else has seen that as well. Could have been just like a model, and this is just a part of the additional deception. I don't know. Or they could be real red-haired giants that are in stasis at the moment. So there's apparently secret undersea bases. So all the USOs, not the UFOs, but the USOs, where people have seen them, especially around Chile and South America ways, where they come out of the ocean and the waters. These could actually be like human, that because the technology's been there for them to work on and use in secret for such a long time, they're able to go to them levels. And it's not like they had to go down and build undersea places, because there's tunnels and old places underground and routes into them from older times. Even now you can go through tunnels that are from before the flood and stuff like that. So something about Washington, London and Vatican City, possibly these being the three power points of the world today, so possibly something not good coming for them, or possibly this is going to continue to be the new seat for the light world as well as it was for the dark world. I'm not too sure at the moment. So you can see getting into the inner earth civilizations. I did look into this a little bit when I was looking into conspiracies and stuff, and New Age, apparently spiritual but really channeling demons and stuff. So you got things like UFOs, Nordics being the tall white ones, crystals, giants, which we talk about a lot on here, Sasquatch, raptors, 4D, 5D density beings, which are probably just like beings from above or below. I don't know what that is. Construct. Antshar, it had another name when I was looking into it. What was it? Can't remember. 4D humans for our future. Yeah, apparently all this raising vibration and being positive all the time about everything. You're just polarizing people, basically. We can't go all one way totally, because there's always a relapse, and you'll just go completely the opposite at some point. And there needs to be moderation and balance. And this kind of new age stuff is just basically getting people to, raise their vibrations. And it really does tie in with 5G and sound frequency radiation. And before I heard some videos yesterday talking about what I'll say in a minute, I was thinking that maybe we're all getting made to stay at home. So once the 5G nodes are in place, it would be easier to have people affected by it if they're right next to their modems or their Wi-Fi boxes, rather than everyone still living their world outside and being relatively far away from each of these nodes, at least until there was enough of them around that they could affect people everywhere. Because current 4G, basically your Wi-Fi box at the moment probably only emits for about, 10 meters, whereas 5G might emit for 20 meters, 25 meters, maybe more. So you need people to be close to the box to be affected by them. However, what I was learning yesterday was that it could be a part when the button is pressed and 5G is activated, then everything will change. As if like the whole world will appear different around you, like you've just appeared in a new world, maybe something like that. However, what we've also been hearing is Wuhan was basically the first place to turn on 5G, and it was at about the end of last year, the last day of last year, which is also when Corona appeared. So there is talk that the Corona was going to be real. It was going to be a vaccine by Bill Gates to reduce the populations, as you can quite easily find him openly talking about on TED or whatever. However, it was used by, and in old conspiracies there was a lady saying the end of their game is going to be the alien invasion, and the aliens could actually not be beings from out there in the dark world agenda, but the aliens could be the viruses of the so-called thing that's going on right now. And they used that as their final ploy to reduce populations. However, the light world order has come in, and have used that. They possibly, I don't know, maybe there is something to a level going around, whether it's through the actual testing or not, I don't know. However, I've lost my point. So, sorry, I lose my point a lot, especially in the mornings when I'm half asleep. So you got people that are of the Dark World Order and the groups they're in. Yeah. Basically, it shows that after, that America is basically controlled by the Nazi scientists of old, although they weren't given crowns and made to rule, you know, their knowledge and that was used by them. Got the Club 33 for Disney, and we all know what Disney are like, Jesuits. The Babylonian money magic slave system. Khazars, Khazarian Mafia, which I imagine is the Rothschilds. Blank slating, reverse aging. So there'll be all these, apparently these things coming out, which, whether they're true or not, I don't know. Or if they're just basically put virtual reality goggles on you and it just appears that everything's great, I don't know. Dinosaurs within Earth, fairies, mermaids, Sasquatch, giants, shamans, ancestral spirit communication. So a lot of these things they're going to claim are good and the way forward for the new age, when really it's not really doing anything any good. Being there for each other and being around and helping people out, that's what it's about. Not shunning people and social distancing and believing in things that aren't really good for us if we know what they're really about. Dolphin whales, Pleiadian soul family. So the Pleiadians, if you look in the Bible, are going to talk sweet words. Would you loose the bands of Orion or something about the sweet words of the Pleiadians? If you look into the New Age stuff, these are basically so-called aliens from the Pleiadian system, the 7 blue star planets, and they apparently live on about 4 of the 7 planets, and they're loving and they're more advanced than us. They went through what we went through a few thousand years ago, and they've gone beyond that to world peace, and they've come to help us and talk to us. It's crazy because if it was any of it was true, and they did come, why would they hide behind the scenes and talk to people through their internet? Do you know what I mean? Ayahuasca. Oh yeah, ayahuasca. That's the root, isn't it? That kind of spiritual awakening. Atacama humanoids, don't know what that is. Psyops Hegelian dialect. Hegelian. Is that like Abigail, Levago, Abigail, Abigail, Yavagu? I don't know if that's what that means. So yeah, as we'll get to the Vatican, and then after we've done this little circle, we've basically done the bottom fraction of the page, and this is all of part of the one big plan. And you can see how the clock before was also just massive with so many different things. For one person to bring that all about, it would just be such a complicated task to have all this put together like that clock and have everything go out at the right time with the right message and coding for everyone. But at the same time, it is also a big labyrinth to take you in deeper. So we've got the Vatican, the Homo capensis, elongated skulls, paedophilia, MITR hats, reptilians, Vatican Library, obelisks and pine cones, Papal Swiss Guards, owns all the world currency, global child trafficking, Lucifer telescope. So this is basically their plan to destroy. Karen Hughes, World Bank whistleblower. So apparently she's going to help bring this down. Right, so I actually went and looked for her on the internet the other day when I first saw this page, and I think I found her on, I think it was Twitter, and she's totally of them. She